to tell you an exciting story about how he lost his favorite thing in the whole world, his blanket. Elmo had to go all the way to Grouchland to get it back. It all started when Elmo spilled his juice on his blanket. Elmo took it to the laundromat for a wash. Out on the sidewalk, Elmo saw his friend Zoe. She wanted to snuggle Elmo's soft, clean blanket. Elmo wants his blanket back now, Zoe, Elmo said. But Zoe wouldn't let go. So Elmo tugged until, grip! The blanket started to tear. Elmo was so upset, he yelled, "Zoe's not Elmo's friend anymore!" Just then, Telly zoomed toward Elmo and Zoe on his skates. He was skating so fast he couldn't stop. He went right between Elmo and Zoe and then skated away with Elmo's blanket on his head. Elmo ran after Telly. Then Elmo bumped into Cookie Monster and spilled Cookie Monster's cookies all over the street. Elmo ran faster and jumped to grab his blanket. But Elmo lost his grip, and his blanket flew in the air. It floated down, way down to 123 Sesame Street, and landed in Oscar's trash can. The lid slammed shut. Elmo ran up and knocked on the can, but Oscar wasn't home. Elmo waited and waited and waited. Oh, he waited for at least a whole minute. Elmo just couldn't wait any longer, so Elmo jumped into Oscar's can. It was really big inside of Oscar's trash can. But Elmo saw his blanket hanging on a door. "Oh, Elmo missed you, blanket. Come on, blanket, let's go home." Elmo tugged his blanket. He tugged his blanket, and the door swung open. There was a big swirl of colors spinning around on the other side. It sucked Elmo and his blanket right through the door. Whoa! Elmo and blanket twirled and whirled down the wormhole. Then Elmo landed, plop, in a garbage truck full of wet, stinky trash. Yuck! Blanket wasn't in the truck, but two Grouches were there. "Hey, Red, you're in Grouchland," the first Grouch said. "A place where you can kick off your shoes and smell your stinky socks," the other Grouch said. Then the truck started up and drove into Grouchland Town Square. Elmo never saw any place like it. There were Grouches everywhere. One Grouch was selling sardine ice cream from a cart. There were rows of rickety buildings, including an ugly parlor where Grouches could get their hair undone. Then Elmo heard a flop flop noise. It was a helicopter landing in Town Square. A Grouch told Elmo, "It's Huxley, the greediest guy in Grouchland, with his Huxocopter." A hose came out of the Huxocopter and started sucking everything in sight. It sucked up a little Grouch girl's doll and started to suck up the girl. Elmo yelled, "Stop!" Town Square got very quiet. A big man with black hair and beady eyes climbed out of the Huxocopter. It was Huxley. "Which one of you dares to question my evil ways?" he shouted. Elmo was scared, but he took a deep breath and said, "It's not nice to take things that don't belong to you." Huxley snapped his fingers and his helper Bug held up something blue. It was Elmo's blanket. Before Elmo could run up and grab his blanket, Huxley and Bug jumped back into the Huxocopter and flew away. Elmo felt terrible. How would he get his blanket back now? Elmo heard someone whisper, "I can show you where your blanket is." It was Grizzy, the little Grouch girl Elmo saved. Grizzy took Elmo through Grouchland forest. They came to a big valley, and Grizzy pointed across to Mount Pick-a-Nose. Huxley's house looked like a little dot on the very top. Good luck, Grizzy told Elmo, and she ran home. Elmo was scared. Huxley's house was so far away, and Elmo had never taken such a long walk alone. But Elmo really wanted to get his blanket back. Elmo started walking until he reached a big hill with a door in the side. Elmo walked through, and the door slammed shut behind him. Elmo was trapped in a spooky tunnel. "It sure is dark in here," Elmo said, and his voice woke up a swarm of fireflies. "Can you help Elmo get out of here?" Elmo asked the fireflies. The fireflies flew over to a cart on metal tracks, and Elmo climbed in. The cart started rolling faster and faster. It was fun, until Elmo saw the cart was heading right toward a stone wall. The cart crashed through. But don't worry, Elmo was okay, and he was outside again. Elmo dusted himself off and kept walking. After a long time, Elmo came to a huge dump. Elmo never saw such tall heaps of trash before. Then he saw something scary. Two monsters made out of junk were walking toward him. One had a football for a face, the other had a toaster for a foot. They were the Stutzmen. They grabbed Elmo and took him to the Queen of Trash. She didn't look happy to see Elmo. "Who is this?" asked the Queen. "Maybe he's a Huxley spy," one stenchman said. Elmo didn't like that, so he told the Queen, "Elmo's not a spy. Elmo just wants to get his blanket back from Huxley, 'cause it's mine." "Well, you certainly sound like Huxley," the Queen told Elmo. Elmo felt bad. The Queen was right. Elmo sounded just like greedy old Huxley. Elmo didn't share his blanket with Zoe. He even yelled at her and hurt her feelings. The Queen of Trash told Elmo he would have to prove he could share. She loved the sound of raspberries, so she told Elmo to blow 100 raspberries. Elmo did, like this. 100 times. Then the Queen knew that Elmo was not a Huxley spy. She wished Elmo good luck and sent him on his way. Now, Elmo was getting closer to Huxley's house. Nothing could stop him from rescuing his blanket now. But just then, Elmo heard a loud sound. Stomp! Stomp! It got louder and louder and closer and closer. Suddenly a chicken as big as a house jumped onto the path and ran straight for Elmo. The chicken must have thought Elmo was a fuzzy red worm. Elmo thought fast. Then he had an idea. He sang, "Elmo's a little teapot, short and stout. Here is his handle, here is his spout." "Teapot?" the chicken barked. The chicken didn't want any tea, so he grabbed Elmo and tossed him high in the sky. Elmo flew through the air until his arms shot out and caught a branch on the side of the mountain. Elmo pulled himself onto a ledge and huddled into a little ball of fur. The chicken was gone, but the sky was getting darker. Elmo had never slept without his blanket before, and he was scared. It was a cold, lonely night. When the sun came up the next morning, Elmo stood up and stretched. Then Elmo saw that Huxley's house was right above him, at the top of the mountain. Elmo climbed the rest of the way up and squeezed through a window. He was in a big room full of all the things Huxley stole from Grouchland, and Huxley was standing in the middle, holding Elmo's blanket. Elmo wants his blanket back. No! He grabbed a cable, switched down, and snatched his blanket from Huxley. Huxley stomped his foot and yelled for his pesties to get the blanket back. The little pesties flew toward Elmo and pushed him into a basket. Then a big metal claw lifted the basket in the air. Elmo held on tight. You and your blanket are both mine now, Huxley said. Just then, Elmo heard a friend's voice. Stop right there, you mean old Huxley! It was Zoe, with all of Elmo's Sesame Street friends. They came all the way to Grouchland to find Elmo. And then another door burst open. In came Grizzy and the Grouches of Grouchland. But Huxley wouldn't give up. He reached into Elmo's cage and snatched the blanket. Suddenly, the Huxlecopter started up. The hose shot out and sucked the blanket out of Huxley's hands. Then the door of the Huxlecopter opened and Bug climbed out. Bug was tired of working for mean old Huxley. Bug handed Elmo his blanket, and Elmo hugged his blanket so hard. Thank you, Bug, said Elmo. Hooray! Yay! Elmo and his friends and even the Grouches cheered. The last thing Elmo saw was Huxley chasing after Bug, asking for another chance to be friends. Huxley promised to change his greedy ways. Elmo said goodbye to Grizzy and the other Grouches and went back to Sesame Street. When they got home, Elmo told Zoe, Elmo sorry hurt your feelings, Zoe. Can Elmo still be your friend? Zoe said, of course! Friends forever! Then Elmo let Zoe hold his blanket. After all,